Hey, what's up guys? Rob the Jeweler here. So today we have a kind of a tennis bracelet style bracelet here that a customer's missing stones. They're missing about 4 of them and all of them need prongs. Now I'm just going to cover one of these because once you've you do one, they're all the same. But you can see there's a stone missing right there. There's a stone. Right, where are you at? There's a stone missing right there. And there was a stone missing right here at the end, but I've already got the stone in there. It's going to be right there. And it's missing a prong, so what we're going to do is we're going to build a prong on that. I'm going to go ahead and flip this back around. But that's what we're going to be kind of working on today. Okay. So, I've already got the stone in there. So what you're going to do is you're going to find if it's a round stone. If it's a princess cut. Find a stone that fits. Go ahead and get it in there, which is what I've done already here. And next, we're going to try to put a prong on this thing. These things can be a little bit tricky, especially when you're dealing with small stones and small prongs. You know, if you're doing larger stones and large prongs, those are so much easier to work on. But when you're doing fine, really tiny prongs, it's a little bit of a chore. So, we're going to go ahead and flux this thing with the boric acid denatured alcohol. I say flux, it's more like a protective barrier than it is a flux. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and heat this bad boy up. Alright, now we're going to actually add our flux this time. Alright. And now you don't want to cut a very big piece of solder off, being that this is a very fine piece with very small prongs. You only need a little piece of solder. You don't need like a full piece. Now if you're doing like a ring, you got larger prongs, then you might need a full piece, but this is very small prongs, so we don't need a very big piece. So we're going to heat this up. And next I'm going to figure out why my thing is shaking. Alright. And then we're going to heat this bad boy up here. Adjust our flame a little bit here. Okay. Getting prongs, especially small ones like this, can be a chore. They are not easy by any means. I need to clean this pick off a little bit. It's a little dirty. You just use a file to kind of get you some new meat there. See? Now obviously we got our ball of solder on there. I wouldn't have done that with the solder on there, otherwise we'd done scraped the solder off the pick. Maybe crank this flame up a little bit here. Okay. And we're using a 4 tip for this. This is a smaller, so we're not going to use a large tip like a 5 or 6. And keep in mind, even though you may do a small piece, you may have to cut another small piece. Sometimes solder doesn't always go the way you want it. In a perfect world that would be great, but it doesn't always work out that way. Alright, I think we've got that on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that sit for a second, let that kind of cool off, and we're going to take a look at it here just to see. I'm going to stick this in front of the fan. Now, these are diamonds, so being that they're diamonds, you can put heat directly to the stone. You don't have to worry about it shattering. Now, if this was a CZ or a gemstone, like a blue topaz or aquamarine or something like that, you're going to approach this a little differently because you can't put heat to it. You put heat to the stones, they're going to shatter immediately. Same with if you heat them hot and you dump it in water and cool it off too fast, it's going to shatter. So you got to be careful with that. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to get our regular smoother like we used on the outside of, to smooth the outside of the rings. And we're going to file this prong down a little bit here. Before I do that though, I want to show you the prong that we've built so far. So you take a look, you can see right here, you can see how that's bigger than the other one, so we need to file it down to kind of match. Now this is a little black from the heat, that'll clean up, makes it a little hard to see the stone right now, but we will file that down. Then we'll take another look at it. Okay. So let's go ahead and file this sucker down. And it's very tedious when you're working with these small stones and small prongs like this. They're not exactly my favorite to do. I can do them, I've done plenty of them, but not exactly my favorite. So basically what we're doing is we're just filing it down, get the stones, or I mean get the prongs to kind of match the other ones. Which if you take a look now, you can kind of see we're getting there. Still a little bigger right here than the rest of them. So we're going to keep it here. Alright, now we're pretty close to where we need. Now we're still going to have to polish and buff this, so there's going to be we want to leave a little bit because some of that's going to come off in the buffing process. But we've got that filed down. Once we clean this up, you should be able to see them stones a little better. You can see these are nice and white. This is kind of black right now from the heat, but this will clean up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do these other 3 stones. It's gonna be the same process, but I'm gonna go ahead and do them 3 stones, and then we'll come back and take a look after we've polished it.